Okay, shalom, shalom. All right, we're going live. Um, Mamzer, correcting the lies of Ahlazar Bun, unverified. Like, who is his father, really? I know I'm late to the party with this whole Mamzer thing. It wasn't on my radar. Um, so I'm late to the party with this Mamzer thing. It wasn't on my radar. But I heard Ahlazar saying a bunch of lies and deliberately lying about the text of the Bible about Mamzer. According to the definition, he is a Mamzer. Um, but before I go in, I want to give all praises, and I do mean all praises, to the Creator of all, the Holy One of Israel, the Ancient of Days, the Father, Yahweh, his name in the Hebrew, which means I am, he is, or called us to be. And we pay homage to his first begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahushai, Christ Jesus in English, which means anointed Savior or anointed salvation. And as our brother Jude puts it in his letter, for us to contend for the faith that was once delivered to the saints. Okay? With that, this is a section of spiritual food that I'm doing here. Shout out to Sal Showtime for opening up his platform for me to come on. Shout out to my co-host, Brother Gabar. Hopefully he can join me and come on. Um, I definitely want to get right into it. I don't want to waste no time at all. Um, I'm doing this because, as Paul puts it, I'm here to defend the gospel. Okay? So some people think that the gospel is just the first five. I mean, some people think the Torah is just the first five books. But the Torah is from Genesis to Malachi. Okay? From Genesis to Malachi is Torah. Okay? So I'm gonna get the verse to prove what I'm talking about right quick. Okay? 1 second here and grab this verse. I want to come to the book of St. John, chapter 10, verse 34. In fact, let me share my screen and pull these scriptures here out. Let me 1 second, let me share my screen. Let me pull up these verses here. Let me get to the verse right quick. I'm gonna pull it up, share my screen, and we can clear up this misconception that people have. Whoever had this misconception to think that Torah is only the first five books. So I want to come here and let the Messiah tell you this out of his own mouth. 1 second, let me share my screen and show you this. So here we are right here. This is the Messiah speaking. This is St. John chapter 10, verse 34. Jesus, aka Yahushua in the Hebrew, answered them, is it not written in your law, meaning your Torah? I said, ye are gods. And he is quoting Psalms. So he's calling Psalms Torah. So again, Torah is not just the first five books. Torah will be considered from Genesis all the way to Malachi. All of it is Torah, which means instructions or directions. You can find instructions or directions in any one of these other books. Okay? 1 second here. I don't know why this thing is going off. It shouldn't be going off. Anyway, okay, shut that down. So, as Paul puts it again, I stand for the defense of the gospel. The gospel is the law and the prophets. Okay, I don't want to go into it right now, but according to the text, the gospel is the law and the prophets. It ain't something that these Christians are talking about for them to be grafted in or that nonsense, because you cannot believe your way into a contract. That doesn't make any sense. So the law and the prophets, that's the gospel. Okay. So when Paul said I stand for the defense of the gospels, he's talking about the law and the prophets. He's talking about something that at his time when he walked the earth wasn't even penned yet. Okay. Besides his little letters that he had was writing around, but the whole New Testament was not even penned down. So he ain't talking about that. He must be talking about the Old Testament, the law, and the prophets. Okay. So let me get right into this here. I want to share my screen again. Let me get This is Ahlazar here. Ahlazar is about to go and prove that Moses's children are called Levites, and they're not Mamzer. This is what he's going to go to do, and I'm going to go in and correct him because he's lying, okay, on purposely. So I'm gonna play the little part of this video here. All right, so we can see this is what he's saying. So again, he's going in to disprove, because the guys say that Moses' children are Mamzers. You don't say word for word in the text, but they are Mamzers. So he's going now to disprove that by going to 1 Chronicles chapter 1 verse 23. He's going to disprove that now. Okay, I'm gonna play the video.
You don't see it to say that, but you don't see the scriptures call them Israelites either.
Okay, so he's saying that the scriptures don't call Moses' sons Israelites. That's what the guy is saying. Now Ahlazar going to respond.
You heard that? You guys, they can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to debunk that with the Bible. You go ahead and read that.
First Chronicles, what's it, Ahlazar? He said he's going to debunk that with the scriptures right quick. So go ahead.
First Chronicles chapter 23 verse 4.
What did you say, Deacon?
We're going to First Chronicles, and let's start at 23.
Yeah.
Read verse 6. Start at 6.
Let me get
Aside. You got to slow down because he's got to get it, and then Moshe has to get it.
Okay, not going.
Yep.
So First Chronicles chapter 23, start at 6. First Chronicles chapter
23,
start at verse 6.
and verse 6.
And then we're going to jump around a couple.
First Chronicles 23 and 6. You understand that, Masha?
Yeah, 23 and 6.
Yeah, okay, beautiful. The reason I'm going here is the classification, tribes, and lineages are what Chronicles is about, right? Let's start at 6 if you want to read.
And David divided them into forces among the sons of Levi.
Among two?
Sons of Levi.
The sons of Levi. Levi is a son of Israel. So anyone who is regarded as a son of Levi is regarded as a son of Israel. Is an Israelite, right? Go ahead.
Namely Gershon, Kohath, and Merari.
So these are the ingredients of the sons of Levi. Right? Now go to 14.
Verse 14. Now concerning Moses,
I read.
the man of God,
The man of God. Okay.
his sons were named of the tribe of Levi.
So the sons were named of the tribe of Levi. Levites are Israelites. So when we see Moses' sons being called Israelites, which is the exact opposite of what I just said. Now keep going. Verse 24.
Hold on, let me make sure not to convey.
Okay, so he pulled the verse here, and he said, First Chronicles 23, and he's at verse 14. Says, now concerning Moses, the man of God, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi, is what he's saying. So he's saying this verse proves that there are Levites because they're named the tribe of Levi, according to Ahlazar. He's being disingenuous. I'm going to prove that this verse actually is not saying that when it says we're named. And he knows this, okay? He knows this, all right? But I'll let the video play, and I'm going to come back and disprove that verse right quick.
Yes, relay this to Masha. All right, so Masha, they went to First Chronicles, 23rd chapter.
Let me speed
and
this
they
up.
began at the 6th verse.
And it's good to heard me. 14.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You go to 14.
Go ahead.
So the brother now he's going to read what Ahlazar and them read, but he's going to start in verse 13, which Ahlazar really don't want him to read verse 13 because verse 13 cuts him.
No, so like it, brother. We read 14, but you can read 14 to him now. I just stick with for the context.
All right, so Masha, they're telling me I can go ahead and read to you the 14th verse, and it's going to give the context is what they said. The sons of Aaron and Moses, and Aaron was separated.
See, he says Aaron was separated. See, so verse 13, what verse 13 says, which Ahlazar didn't want to be read, verse 13 tells us that what? It says the sons of Amram, Aaron, and Moses, it says. Then it says, and Aaron was separated. So it means Aaron was chosen. Out of the two, out of Aaron and Moses, Aaron was chosen, it says. Okay? Ahlazar, look at Ahlazar's face. See, he knows the brother is reading the cut. Okay? I'm going to keep playing the video.
that he should sanctify the most holy things.
He said that he should sanctify the most holy things. Remember, Moses never did those things in the tabernacle in the wilderness. Moses went in to talk to the Most High in the holy place, but he couldn't go in the most holy place because only the high priest go in the most holy place once a year. So Moses couldn't go in there, only his brother could. And Moses never killed no animals in that tabernacle or anything like that. Okay? So that was given to his brother, Aaron, to do, and his sons. All right?
He and his sons.
That's 13.
See, he's saying that's 13 because he knows it's this verse cuts what he's trying to say. You know what I'm saying? This verse cuts what he's saying. I'm going to finish the verse. All right? This First Chronicles 23, verse 13 again. The sons of Amram, Aaron and Moses, and Aaron was separated, meaning he was chosen. Okay? He was picked. It says that he should sanctify the most holy things, he and his sons forever, it says. Him and his sons, not Moses' sons, but Aaron and his sons forever, it says. To burn incense before the Most High, to minister unto him, and to bless in his name forever. So that was given to Aaron and his sons, not to Moses and his sons. But Ahlazar didn't want to read that because he's being disingenuous with the text. Okay? He's trying to be slick with it. He knows what verse 13 says. He didn't want verse 13 to be read. Let me finish playing this right quick.
13, all right, 13. That's 13. Okay, let me go to 14. I'm sorry. It says, now concerning Moses, the man of Elohim, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. So that's what Ahlazar is trying to say. Let me stop sharing right quick. This is what Ahlazar is trying to say, that this verse proves that Moses' children were Levites because they were named of the tribe of Levi. Now let's go into the text. Let me go back here. I got to come to it. Let me share my screen and show you what I have so you can see it. I'm sharing again. This is the verse here. We're in First Chronicles 23. This is verse 14 where he was reading. It says, now concerning Moses, the man of Elohim, the man of the Most High, his sons were named, it says. Here it is, were named of the tribe of Levi. So he's saying this proves that they're Levites. But let's look up this word. Just look up this phrase here, were named. We see what it is. It's torah. It's what it is. And the next thing next to it tells you what Hebrew stem it in. It tells you what verb stem it is in. Clearly it shows you right here, it's in the Naphal stem. The N-I-P-H-A-L stem, the Naphal stem, this tells you what stem it is in. Okay? So we're looking for that stem in the definition. So we're going to Korah. I'm going to click on it. All right? When we click on it, it comes here down. Here is the Naphal stem. Naphal stem says clearly to call oneself. This is what it says. They was calling themselves of the tribe of Levi. The Israelites was not calling them Israelites. They were not calling them Levites. The verse accurately is saying they was calling themselves Levites. Their son was. Moses' son was, but there was not. Okay? The Hebrews telling you they was calling them to call oneself that. They was calling themselves Levites, but the Israelites was not calling them Levites. Okay? To be called, proclaimed, to be read aloud, so on and so forth. But the point here is that they call oneself, or to be called. But if someone calls you something, that doesn't mean that you're actually that. People can call you many things. It doesn't prove that you're actually that thing that they're calling you. Okay? Clearly. So this proves what Ahlazar is trying to say with this text. It does not prove that Moses' son were Israelites. All it proves that they call themselves Levites. That all is proved. Okay? Let me stop sharing and go to my next video. As a matter of fact, let me keep sharing. Let me go to the next video. This is the next part now, because he gets worse. He's constantly lying. So, okay, let me bring this bigger. Now he's going into a next phrase. Now we're dealing with Ezra and Nehemiah now. Okay? He said Ezra and Nehemiah are trying to lie. I'm going to debunk him again with Ezra and Nehemiah and show you. He says what Ezra and Nehemiah did, they did on their own, not from the Most High. I'm going to prove that what Ezra and Nehemiah did, was from the Most High. From the text, from the Hebrew, is what it says. Okay? Let me play what Ahlazar is about to say. I'm gonna try to speed through it because there's a lot of dead space in it. So
there's a lot of misconceptions that I had in this verse. First, let me demonstrate that. One, when it said mingle, the whole, you see, this is the word for mingle in the Hebrew. And it means to pledge, exchange, mortgage, engage, occupy, undertake for future pledges to become maturity. It has nothing to do with having sex with somebody.
I just want to say that you notice when he goes to the Blue Letter Bible, he reads all this definition, but he didn't read the one where it says in Chronicles were named. In the Hefel stem, he didn't read any of that. You know what I'm saying? You can clearly see that he's being disingenuous with the text. He's giving you his version of it and not the complete version of it. Okay?
What's going on?
Let me relay that. Ahlazar was going through the
Let me fast forward this to the point. Okay?
understanding behind the meaning of
And see, this word for mingle does not mean mingle.
The princes, the priests and Levites.
Okay, you get to the point.
Yeah, so where we at? Boom. Okay. Read that in Ezra first. Read that in Ezra. That's the first Ezra. Yeah, So this is the verse that they started with, that they built their premise on, right? So read.
First Ezra 8:69.
So now they're in the Apocrypha. That's where they at. They're in the Apocrypha in First Ezra. Right? You didn't hear it. He's in the Apocrypha. Right? He's in first Ezra chapter 8, and he's reading verse 69. This is what this guy's reading.
Of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land.
So this is the whole context. This is where it starts. It says they are not put away from them the strange people of the land of Ahlazar. What is the land? What's the land that's ours? Israel, right? What was it called before we went into it? Canaan, because it was inhabited by the Canaanites, right? So when it uses the term strange people of the land, and we're in the land of Israel, the strange people it's referring to is the Canaanites. You don't have to believe me. It's going to elaborate. Read.
Nor the pollutions of the Gentiles, to wit, of the Canaanites.
Of who?
Canaanites.
The who?
Canaanites.
The Canaanites, read.
The Hittites.
The Hittites, which are also Canaanites, read.
The Perizzites.
Also Canaanites, read.
The Jebusites.
Also Canaanites, read.
And the Moabites.
Now the Moabites are next door neighbors, right? Go ahead.
Egyptians and Edomites.
Those are non-Canaanites, right? But notice it referenced the Canaanites first, right? Now go to Deuteronomy 7:1-4.
Now he's gonna go into Deuteronomy and try to say that only those people there found in Deuteronomy 7 would be unlawful if you marry them, but you can marry a Moabite, an Egyptian, and an Edomite because his mother is an Edomite according to him. Okay, so he's trying to dismiss the other nations named here. He's trying to dismiss the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Edomites, even though they're named here. He's trying to say that doesn't matter, only the Canaanites does, by going to Deuteronomy chapter 7.
Because this is how we have to understand the context. When it says the iniquity they did, well, what's the iniquity? Because iniquity is not defined in Ezra. Iniquity is defined in Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy. That's where iniquity is defined.
See, that's a lie again. See, he thinks Torah again is only the first 5 books. The Messiah called Psalms Torah. Obviously, something is wrong with him. Torah is not just the first 5 books, Ahlazar. It's the entire Old Testament. All of it is Torah, bro.
So let's go to the law and see what iniquity they're guilty of. Is it an iniquity to deal with another nation's woman, or is it iniquity to deal with a specific nation's woman? Let's find out. Read.
Deuteronomy 7:1. When Yahweh thy God shall bring thee into the land, where thou goest to possess it,
Read on.
and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites.
The who?
Hittites.
Isn't that who was named? The Hittites, read.
And the Girgashites.
And the Girgashites, read.
And the Amorites.
And the Amorites, read.
And the Canaanites.
And the Canaanites, that was also named, right? Read.
And the Perizzites.
Perizzites was also named, read.
And the Hivites.
And the Hivites, read.
And the Jebusites.
The Jebusites were also named, right? Read.
7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Read on.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee. Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
Read on.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
You should not make marriages with them. They made marriages with groups of people that God told them not to make marriages. Not just told, commanded us not to make marriages with. Canaanites, Hittites, Jebusites, Perizzites. We're not supposed to make marriages with them, but you had Levitical priests that did that. That's the iniquity. Read.
Right. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
You shall not take their daughters to your sons. Brothers did that. That's the iniquity that was committed. There is no law in the Torah that says you cannot marry a non-Israelite woman. I'm not saying, guys, go out and get with heathen women, but there are several righteous men in the Bible that had wives that were not Israelites, starting with the man that gave us the law, which is Moses.
Now you heard that for yourself. You play back. He said something is wrong with him. He said there is no law in the Bible you cannot marry. Wait, let's play it again. This guy's crazy.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
You shall not take their daughters to your sons. Brothers did that. That's the iniquity that was committed. There is no law in the Torah that says you cannot marry a non-Israelite woman.
You heard it for yourself. There is no law in the Torah that says you cannot marry a non-Israelite woman. That's what he said clearly. There is absolutely no law that said you cannot marry a non-Israelite woman. He just read a law that says that. Deuteronomy chapter 7 tells you that those 7 nations, you cannot marry their women. That's a law right there that says that. But he comes right behind it after reading it and says there is no law in the Bible that you cannot marry a non-Israelite woman. Something is wrong with him. Like he's losing his mind. You know what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit clearly ain't working with him. He's cutting himself. Let me finish playing this nonsense, bro. Ahlazar, I hope this video get to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I would just love to debate you on this. But I know you're running and Deacon running too. You're always running. I'm always challenging Ahlazar and Deacon all the time, but they don't want to debate me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying, guys, go out and get with heathen women, but there are several righteous men in the Bible that had wives that were not Israelites, starting with the man that gave us the law, which is Moses. Starting with him, right? There's theories he have one wife, there's theories he have 2 wives. Either way, neither of his wives are Israelites. Jethro's daughter is not an Israelite, and the Ethiopian is not an Israelite, right? These are things we have to understand. So when it's talking about the iniquity that we committed, it's talking about you have priests that married women who, according to Deuteronomy 7, were not supposed to be married, period, right? Now, they dealt with a vow. Israelites did vow to put away those wives and those children, right? Did the Most High command them to do that? No, there's nowhere where it says the Most High commanded that. They decided to do that. Now, give me judges about Benjamin.
Okay, so now he said, he's speaking of Ezra and Nehemiah. He said, Ezra and Nehemiah did that on their own. The Most High did not command it, he said. Nowhere does it say that the Most High commanded it. Is what he's saying. He's lying, about to prove him wrong. Okay? About to prove him wrong. Let me come back up again. Let me stop. Let me go to my next thing here. Come back up. This guy is just lying all over the place. This is just crazy for him to be saying this stuff. Okay? I'm gonna come to Ezra. I'm gonna come all the way out. Come to Ezra. Ezra chapter 10. Ezra chapter 10, verse 3. This is the verse he's trying to hide and say, doesn't say that. I'm going to deal with it before he even get to it, so you can see it. This is what it says. It says, now therefore let us make a covenant with our Elohim, with our God, to put away all the wives and such as are born of them according to the counsel of Yahweh. But when you see it in your Bible, it's going to say Lord right here. it's gonna say my Lord. In the King James Version, this is gonna say my Lord. Okay? It's gonna say my Lord because the Sahifrim changed it to my Lord in the text. They changed it. Right? This is Ezra chapter 10, verse 3. This is according to the counsel of the Most High. This is the counsel of God. But in the English, again, it's going to say my Lord because they changed it. Let me prove to you they change it. Here's what it is. This is the 134th passage where the Sahifrim altered Yahweh to Adonai. It says right here, out of extreme but mistaken reverence for the ineffable name of Yahweh, the ancient custodians of the sacred text substituted in many places Adonai for the Most High name. That means my Lord or Sir. These in the AV, the authorized version, or the RV, the revised version, are all printed Lord. In all these places, we have printed it, capital L-O-R-D, making the word with an asterisk, marking the word with an asterisk in addition to the note in the margin to inform the reader of the fact. Okay? The official list given in the Masorah. See, people know what the Masorah is. The Masorah in the Masoretic text, you're not going to see this, but the original text have around the text on the page, it has writing on the top, on the side, and on the bottom. These writings tell you what the first letter is, the middle letter is, and the last letter is when they're counting it. Then on the side of it, it tells you if they change anything. It's all that around the text is called the Masorah. It's also called a fence around the Torah. Okay? That's a fence around the Torah on the pages. They call it the Masorah. And that's where in the Masorah they tell you that they changed the Most High name in 134 places. Now let's see. All the lists are all right here. Here's the list right here. We come right here and we see what? Ezra chapter 10 verse 3. That they changed it right there. It's not my Lord what you see in the English. The Most High name is there. Okay? It's according to the counsel of Yahweh. They changed it right here. This is the proof. Ahlazar cannot disprove this. The people who wrote it, they tell you they changed it. They're not hiding where they changed it from. They say they changed it right there. Okay? Let me go back to the text. Right here. Ezra chapter 10 verse 3. It's supposed to be Yahweh there according to the counsel of Yahweh. So what Ezra and Nehemiah was doing was from the Most High. The Most High told them to put away that strange woman and their children. Told them to do that. They won't do it on their own. Ahlazar is just lying. Please, Ahlazar, disprove this. I want to see you disprove this right here. You can't get around this, bro. This is facts. Let me go back. Let me stop. Let me go back to the video. This is crazy. You're going to finish talking this nonsense. You already don't prove them wrong already. Let me play it again.
There was a time when we vowed something. Does that mean that this stands for the annals of time? Does that mean that the Most High told us to vow this? Let's find out. Read.
Judges 21:1. Now the men of Israel had in Mizpah saying, there shall not any of us give his daughter unto Benjamin to wife.
So all the Israelites vowed that nobody will give his daughter to a Benjamite. Are we now not allowed to deal with the Benjamites? If a Jamaican brother can't marry your daughter? No, that's something that those men at that time made a decision to do because of what was going on then. The same thing during the time of Ezra. Those men at that time made a decision to do that. Why? Number one, because they let them heathen women raise them kids up in the ways of the heathen anyway. So they wrote them off. But I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Keep going.
That's a straw man argument. No one is making that argument. You're just trying to add stuff that don't pertain to the argument.
It says, and the people came to the house of God and abode there till even before God and lifted up their voices and wept sore.
Okay. So now give me Judges 11 real quick too. Let's go to another instance where somebody made a vow that the Most High did not ordain, right? Or the Most High didn't command for that vow to be made. But once you make a vow, you're held to that vow. See, this is when you don't deal with the context of Scripture, you can get lost and you spin off into these doctrines. And that's what this is. I really hope these brothers come back because I really need them to hear this stuff. Right? All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Read.
This is Judges 11, and I'm going to just get to verse 30. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord Yahweh, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hand, then it shall be that whatsoever,
he said, whatsoever, read,
cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon,
read on,
shall surely be Yahweh.
So he said, whatever walks into my house after I come back from this battle, if the Lord delivers the Ammonites to me, I'm going to sacrifice to the Most High. Let's see what walked through his door. Read.
And I will offer it up for a burnt offering.
See that? A burnt offering, right? So read.
I'm gonna just come to the point, verse 34.
Yeah, well, Zawan, Tazamama, Captain Tazamama, he talked to this dude all the time. All the time. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, read.
Verse 34. And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him, with timbrels and with dances.
So who came out to meet him? His daughter. Remember, the first thing that comes through, I'm offering for a burnt offering. His daughter. Read.
And she was his only child. Beside her, he had neither son nor daughter.
And
it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto Yahweh, and I cannot go back.
I can't go back. You have to, pursuant to Numbers 30, keep your vows. Period. Read.
And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth. For as much as Yahweh hath taken vengeance.
Yo, my moderators, I'm telling y'all right now, if I don't see some moderation in this chat, I'm taking all your wrenches.
Now he's getting mad at the moderators now. He's ripping.
This chat is out of control.
Yeah, because you said a bunch of nonsense. That's why. It's a bunch of garbage you over here saying. Chat gotta be out of control. You're out of control.
Some of y'all are bearing the sword in vain in that chat. I'm gonna tell you that now. And I'm gonna give it to some men who are gonna be worthy of that sword. But go ahead. You gotta keep going. You gotta read this whole.
It says, For as much as Yahweh hath taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even of the children of Ammon. And she said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me.
So she said, all right, cool. Damn, God's gotta burn me alive. But first, let me do this.
That's a lie. You ain't gonna burn her alive. Stop it.
Just read.
Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity.
Let me cry about the fact that I haven't been married and had kids before I die for 2 months. Read.
I and my fellows. And he said, Go.
Me and my friends, her girlfriends. Read.
And he sent her away for 2 months. And she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of the 2 months,
after she mourned, read,
that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow.
Meaning she was burnt alive.
That's a lie. Hey, she was not burnt alive. We're going to continue to read the text. She was not burnt alive. You lying.
That's what happened. Did God say you got to burn your daughter alive? No. Did God say you got to not marry a Benjamite? No. Did God say you got to put the women and children away? No. But those were decisions that those men made at that time. And because they vowed vows, they had to be held to those vows. Now,
again, it's just all a bunch of lies. Okay? I just proved Ezra and Nehemiah didn't go to the council of the Most High. Okay? It was, brother, Ahlazar, it was the Sahifrim that deceived you. The Sahifrim took the Most High name out the text that deceived you. That's what actually happened, bro. That's why he's saying this stuff. And you see, it's a bad thing when you don't do some in-depth research. You start to say a bunch of stuff that you think is right that's not even right. It's completely wrong. Okay? So he's doing this based on misinformation. And that's the problem. That's a big problem in the Hebrew Israelite community with a lot of these doctrine. A lot of these brothers don't have no real in-depth studies on anything, and they're making these false claims based on a lack of information. Okay? Now I want to come back. Let me come back here. Let me hold that right quick. Let me come back. Let me stop sharing right quick. I'm going to come back here to this text. Okay? Let me come back here. I want to get the verse where he was reading in Judges. Because he didn't finish the verse in Judges chapter 11. he's just clearly disingenuous with the text. Talking about how Jephthah burnt his wife or sacrificed his wife to the Most High. Ahlazar, stop it, bro. You're making yourself look bad, bro. You thought in verse 39. He's making himself look bad. I'm just gonna just read the plain text. I don't know what he's talking about. It says, and it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to the vow which he had vowed. And she knew no man, and it was a custom in Israel. So is it a custom in Israel that you're going to go ahead and burn your daughter and sacrifice it to the Most High? Of course it's not. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. Verse 40 is what cuts him. It says that the daughters of Israel went yearly. Look at this. They went yearly to lament the daughter, to lament the daughter of Yitzhak, the Gileadite, 4 days a year. So the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days a year. So they was going up there every single year. They went there they went 4 times yearly to go up where? They went up to, she went to the temple. They went to bemoan her virginity because it says that she knew no man. Okay? She's a virgin. She's what you call dedicated to the temple of the Most High, to do anything pertaining to the Most High. She was not put to death. This goes back to what the Messiah says. And let me read what the Messiah says. Okay? Because she's what you call a female eunuch. She's a female eunuch. The Messiah talks about eunuchs in the book of Matthew, chapter 9. Let me read it. She would fall into this category right here. Matthew chapter 9, near the end of the chapter. Okay? Let me come on down. Gotta go up. Matthew chapter, 1 second. No, this is not 9. Sorry, it's 19. Matthew chapter 19. To the wrong verse. Matthew chapter 19. Here's what it says. Starting at verse 11. After he done told his disciples about a man cannot have more than one wife. This is proven in verse 9. Okay. The disciples responded to it in verse 10. And here it says in verse 11. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb. Okay? This person here don't have no desire for a woman from their mother's womb. The so-called white men will lie to these men and tell them that they're gay. This is a lie. They're a eunuch from the womb because they're going to do just the Most High business, not to get married. It says, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men for a king with his harem. So the man don't sleep with his women, he would castrate the man, because that's all the man does is take care of his harem. That's his job. He says, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuch for the kingdom of God's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. So Jephthah's daughter was made a eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake, to deal with the tabernacle at that time that was there. Whatever the priest needed outside the temple that she could provide for them, that's what she did, because they went yearly with her to bewail her virginity, it says. This is what it says here. They went yearly. And the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah, the Gileadite, 4 days out the year. Now, if she had died, if they actually burnt her and they killed her, you can't go and mourn someone 4 times a year. You can't do that. When someone dies, the Torah said you would mourn them for 30 days. And that is it. And it's over and you move on. But if they're going up there yearly, you said they went up there yearly. They went there every single year. And they went 4 times a year. They didn't go 1 time, 4 times a year. This shows you that she was still alive. This guy knows what he's talking about. There's no way they went 4 times yearly to bewail someone that's dead. That don't make no sense. Not in Israel. Maybe in this Edomite kingdom, but not in Israel. That don't happen in Israel. When someone dies, 30-day mourn, and then you move on from there. You don't go yearly to the grave 4 times a year and stop it, bro. All right, you know what he's talking about. Let me get back to this video. Ahlazar done lost his mind. He don't know what he's talking about at all. Let me bring this back up again and continue. He's lying about Jephthah. He's lying about Ezra and Nehemiah. He's lying about the Benjamites and all that, giving you part of the story. He's lying about Moses' children being called Levites. This is a lie. They mean named Levites. They called themselves Levites, but it was not Levites. I'm gonna pull the scripture. I'm gonna pull the verse that proves that they are not, that Moses' children was actually priests to the Danites. I'm gonna pull the verse in Judges that proves it. They were actually Danites. But let me play the video. All right, that's what happened to them. They were dealing with idols. 1 second. Let me play this video.
Give me Ezra 10:3. Ezra 10:3. Yo, Deacon, are you in contact with these brothers? Are they coming back? Give me Ezra 10:3.
Ezra 10:3.
Uh-huh.
Now therefore let us be a covenant with our God.
Uh-huh.
Put away all the wives, and such as are born of them,
Uh-huh.
according to the
The
counsel.
wives and the kids, these heathen women and these Israelite kids. I've seen people try to put a remix and a spin on this. There's no need to do that. This is what happened. These were Israelite children who were put away. But this, when you understand contextually, in retrospect, this is the precursor for the Gentiles, for Israelite foreigners. This is where it started. Go ahead.
It says, according to the counsel of my Lord,
You want that? Go ahead.
and of those,
The counsel of my Lord. Lord there is lowercase out of one. The Lord is Ezra there, not the Most High.
See, now I already debunked that. See, he's saying that my Lord. See, he knows it says Adonai, lowercase. See, he knows what it says. I went there and just debunked it before he even got there, that it actually said Yahweh. The Most High name is there. And the Sahifim changed it. See? So he's arguing for misinformation again. And I already debunked it. I hope Ahlazar do see this video so he can correct himself, brother, because you're wrong. Brother, you're in a lot of trouble, bro. Because the Most High told Ezra and Nehemiah to put away those strange women and their children. That came from the Most High. And that would include you. You would be the children of a strange woman. You would have been put out of Israel. The Most High commanded that to happen. That's his counsel. When Christ comes, oh my, anyway, bro, let me keep going. You have a lot to deal with when Christ comes out that sky, bro. You better get yourself together before you come out that sky. You about to get it.
Right, go ahead.
counsel of my Lord, and of those.
All I need is 3. Okay, go ahead. So like it's
and
one.
of those that tremble at the commandment of our God.
Okay, so Ezra said, listen, this is what we're going to do, right? And there was a purpose for that. Ecclesiastes 3 and 5. Just so we can understand why all of this happened. All right?
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 5.
Read.
A time to cast away stones.
There's a time to cast away stones. Read.
And a time to gather stones
And
together.
then there's a time to gather stones together. We're called as Israel the lively stones. So that was a time, there's a time for all things. In that time, that was a time to cast away stones. Then when Yahweh said, listen, y'all go call everybody in, call the Israelites, go to the Israelites scattered amongst the nations. That was a time to gather stones together.
This guy's, he just constantly lying. It says as lively stones. What? what kind of a nonsense is that, man? This guy right here trying to. That is ridiculous. If there were really Israelites, why would the Most High counsel Ezra and Nehemiah to go send away Israelites, bro? You guys crazy. That don't make no sense. Get sound is going
Yeah,
up.
so that was a time to gather stones together, right? Later on. But at that time, that was the time that stones were simply casted away. But there's not a commandment in the law that says you have to do that. That's my point. Give me Psalms 147 and 2. Where you go, Cat? Y'all know you was spilled it. He's on light. He said, now look, man, I'm on the TV.
Anyway, with this nonsense right here, let me come back. All right, let me bring this down. Let me come back. Stop sharing. Let me come back here now. Hey, shalom, shalom, star, shalom, 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 star, shalom, Columbus Hebrew, shalom to everybody that's listening here. This guy don't know what he's talking about. Let me get the passage right quick. Let me see, can I pull it up here in the book of Judges, Judges chapter 18, verse 30. This is Moses' children. And the Mazarites, they changed this again. In some kind of reverence for Moses, they hide this here. I'm trying to see, can I can pull that text up from the companion Bible. So here we in Judges chapter 18 and in verse 30. Okay. Judges 18 verse 30. It says, and the children of Dan set up the graven image. Okay, we get it. And the children of Dan set up the graven image. It says that Jonathan, the graven image, that this is Jonathan, the son of Gershom, okay, the son of Manasseh, all right. Now Manasseh is the son of who? Joseph. He's the son of Joseph, all right. He's not the son of Gershom. Gershom would come out of where? Levi. It was Gershom, it was Kohath, Gershom, and Merari. Gershom didn't come out of Manasseh. This clearly is not speaking of the tribe of Manasseh. This is not the Manasseh. I'm gonna some time. I'm gonna pull where the Mazarites changed Moses' name right here with the Hebrew. They changed it with one letter, changed it to Manasseh. This is speaking of Moses' children. Moses' children. I'm going to pull the verse that I told you, because Moses had a son named Gershom. Let me pull the text. Moses had a son named Gershom. We know that Manasseh had no son named Gershom. Okay, that he he didn't have that. Matter of fact, let me pull the verse that showed that he didn't have no son named Gershom. I'm trying to get right to the point. Let me get Joshua chapter 17. Let me get Joshua 17 and 1, which talks about the Manasseh. Joshua 17 and 1. 17 and verse 1 and verse 2. Okay. Second, let me get it in my Bible. Joshua chapter. You know what? I need to get in a plainer text. Too much of this Hebrew here. Let me get in a plainer text so we can read along. Come all the way up in a plainer text so we can read along. So we can see it. Joshua 17 and verse 1. It says, there was also a lot to the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, of the children of Abiezar, for the children of Helek, the children of Asiriel, and the children of Shechem, and the children of Hefer, and the children of Shemidah. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families. Stop right there. There was no son here named Gershom. Gershom didn't come out of Manasseh. I'm just showing you when you read in Judges chapter 18, verse 30, that is not speaking of Manasseh. Right here, this proves that wrong. There's no Gershom here. Okay, going back there. Let me get this into the other text so we can be clear. All right, let me come into the other text so we can be clear, so we can see it. We come into the other text so we can see it clearly. Here, let me come to the book. Judges chapter 18 and verse 30. And the children of Dan set up a graven image, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons, it says, were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. So this is speaking of, I'm gonna prove it. I gotta get this companion Bible text that proves this. This is speaking of Moses' children. They were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. That goes all the way when it came out of the wilderness. From that time, all the way until they was carried away, they were priests to the tribe of Dan. Okay? And the reason why they was priests to the tribe of Dan, because they couldn't officiate in the temple. They couldn't officiate in the tabernacle. They could not. They was expelled from service in the tabernacle. So they went and they called them, I guess the scripture, they called themselves Levites, but the Levites didn't call them Levites. So they was priests until the tribe of Dan, until the day of the captivity of the land. This is what this says. This is not speaking of Gershom. Gershom could officiate in the tabernacle in the wilderness. So this Jonathan here, the son of Gershom, this is not speaking of that. Okay? Not speaking of that at all. This is Moses. Moses had a son named Gershom. So Manasseh is actually, again, this is Moses. I need to pull up the text to show you what it says clearly about it, and so we can go into the Hebrew and show you where they changed it. All right. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up later. Let me get back to this video. Let me get back to this video right quick and show you where they changed it. That is speaking of Moses's children there that was a priest to the Danites. The tribe that was off, that's left out in the book of Deuteronomy. I know many people when they read that verse in Judges 18 and 30 think that that's Manasseh, that's Moses' children. I'm gonna prove it. Shalom to the chat. Shalom. Let me pull up Ahlazar video again. I'm gonna come back to this verse in Judges 18.
Psalm 147 and 2. The Lord doth build up Jerusalem. He gathereth together the outcasts of Israel.
So there were outcasts of Israel, but Yahweh said he's going to gather those outcasts. Who were the outcasts of Israel? The brothers and sisters who were cast away with their heathen mothers during the time of Ezra. That's the onset of the castaways of Israel. See what I'm saying? Along with northern kingdom got cast away. Along with later, there was the period of Hellenization, which caused more brothers to get cast away. And this is why you have brothers like Paul going to these places where these people were cast away to call the Israelites back home. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand the full scope of things, not eisegete, and you also have to not interpolate into the law and let the law be what it is. Like the brother said at the onset of the dialogue, we got to deal with the scriptures say verbatim through the spirit and power of Yahweh. Give me Zephaniah 2 and 1. Matter of fact, scratch that. Don't even get there. Just give me Genesis 49 and 10.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Read on.
Until Shiloh come.
Until who?
Shiloh come.
Shiloh come, which is, we know, a code name for Yahweh Shai. Shiloh means man of tranquility or peace. Yahweh Shai is prophesied to be what? The Prince of Peace. When the Prince of Peace come, read.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
He's going to gather Israel. So Yahweh Shai said, go out and gather Israel. So we're in a time now where Israel's to be gathered. The time of Ezra was a time where stones were cast away. This is the time of gathering stones, pursuant to Ecclesiastes 3 and 5.
Anyway, no, it does not say unto him shall be the gathering of the people. You gotta go into the. Let me pull it up. Let me get it in the Hebrew. I don't know what are you talking about. Again, this is his problem. Let me get the Hebrew verse. Genesis 49. Let me go to Genesis 49. Remember correctly, that Hebrew word is yik-yak. Yik-yak, I think is yik-yak. And it's obedience. Unto him shall be the obedience of the people, is what it actually really says in the Hebrew. That's what it actually says. It does not say gathering. I think it's verse 49 and 10 is what he was reading. Let me check it. Going right to it. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, a light nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall be the. Okay, it's loading up. It's loading up. Let it load up. We can get to it. The Hebrew word there is supposed to be yikha, Y-I-K-H-A-H, and that word is obedience or submission. It's mistranslated here, gathering. It is obedience or submission. It's take a long time to, anyway. I'll come back to it. This is what this word actually means. It is not gathering, it's obedience or submission. So when this man comes, you got to be obedient to him and be submissive to him. Okay? Not unto him is going to be the gathering, because when you read in the Renewed Testament, it clearly tells you he's going to come and get the people that believes in him. They're going to go up with him, and then the rest of the nation are going to go back to the wilderness. Tells you this in Ezekiel. They're going to go back to the wilderness where the Most High going to purge out the rebels before they go back into the land. So there's a separation in Israel, okay, according to so-called Old Testament and New Testament tells you this. And it tells you this further in the book of Hosea, that they're going to call him no more Bali. They're going to start calling him Ishi, okay? You can stop calling him Lord and calling him husband. That happens in the wilderness. It tells you right there again. That is in the whole nation of Israel. So this is talking about the obedience. At some point, when this person comes, his final time, they're gonna have to be obedient. I think it's taking so long. Anyway, let me get back because it's taking so long to load up. Let me get back to this guy's video because he's just lying. I just want to correct that verse that he's putting out there, and it's misinformation.
Praise you, how about you? You got something? Go ahead.
John 10 and 16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
He's an Israel. I got other sheep. Read.
Them also must I bring. I must bring.
Well, yeah, but that's really talking about the Lord.
Oh my God. Anyway, let me fast forward this nonsense here, man. This guy know what he's talking about. You get to the other points. Okay, this is me bringing up what I brought up earlier. This is what I brought up earlier. Let me pause it. This is what I brought up earlier. For those that missed it, I wasn't on. I brought this up to show that in Ezra chapter 10, right here, my cursor is, that the Sahifrim changed the Most High's name to Adonai out of extreme but mistaken reverence for the ineffable name of Yahweh. The ancient custodians of the sacred text substituted in many places Adonai for the Most High's name. Okay? I want to read the whole thing. I'm going to skip through it. And we see here in Ezra chapter 10, verse 3, where he's claiming, it says, my Lord. He's trying to say that's Ezra. That's all from Ezra. Originally, it had the Most High name there. That council was from the Most High again for them to put away the child. I mean, the strange woman and the child. That all came from the Most High God according to the original text before the Sahifrim changed it. Okay? Let me fast forward and fast now.
So first, Ezra.
Yeah, let's read that one first. Let's hit that first. I wanted to deal with it first. So let's hit
I got it.
First Ezra 8 and 51. I got a sorry read this. I'll bring it up.
All right, go ahead. All right. First Ezra chapter 8, verse 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites, have not put away from them the strange people of the land.
So we gotta stop. Who are the strange people of the land?
We done went over this. I'm gonna fast forward this again. We done went over this earlier in this video. We don't want to drag it out. We don't want to correct him because he's lying. Now we're going to see him lying about the brother going to take him to First Kings and watch him lie.
The land is what the fuck is Yeah, I'm gonna skip the point. Joshua 23:13. Know for a certainty that the Lord your God, Yahweh, will no more drive out any of these nations from before you. There'll be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land.
He left them amongst us, right? Because we the Canaanites. Read.
The Hittites, Perizzites.
He said it, right? So go ahead and get that. Matter of fact, just 1 second.
Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord,
the Hittites were named in First Ezra. Read.
Amorite, Canaanites
were named. Read.
Perizzites
were named. Read.
Hivites, and Jebusites
were named. Right. Go ahead.
7 nations, greater and mightier than thou.
So these people. Read.
When the Lord thy God shall
Go ahead,
you confirm that before I go to the
7 of Deuteronomy. Edomites, they were not there. Zidonians and Hittites, I guess the Zidonians fall 7 of Deuteronomy.
Sorry, let me roll it back.
I'm going to start at 1 and read a couple verses and let you guys respond. But King Solomon loved many strange women.
So the brothers in First Kings, because Ahlazar trying to say the only nations that you cannot marry their women is what's found in Deuteronomy chapter 7. The brother gonna take him to First Kings, okay, chapter 11. He's at verse 1.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, that takes care of the Egyptians. Women of Moabites, they weren't in chapter 7. Ammonites, they were not in chapter 7 of Deuteronomy. Edomites, they were not there. Zidonians and Hittites, I guess the Zidonians falls up under the Canaan or whatever.
No.
So we see that the Egyptians, Moabites, Edomites were not in the book of the second law in Deuteronomy, 7th chapter. Go ahead.
Look, the brother, he doesn't want to finish reading the text where it says that the Lord, according to the Lord saying. But watch what he says.
Yeah, they weren't. And if it's unlawful to marry one of those people, you need to be able to go into the Torah and demonstrate it, brother.
Let me interject.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll give it to you. Okay, so check this out. It says, verse 2, of the nations concerning which the Lord Yahweh said, he said, unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. So where did he say that? Because it said right here, he said it.
Yeah, that's talking about the Canaanites. Those are the people that's covered under that.
See how he's lying? He just named the nations right before him. He's making it sound like he's just speaking of the Canaanites when he also mentioned Moabites, Edomites, Zidonians, and the daughter of Pharaoh, Egyptians. He's still trying to just narrow it down just to 7 nations when it's more than 7 nations. He said that what the Lord said it right there in verse 2. But watch Ahlazar continue to lie.
I'm not talking about the Canaanites, brother. I'm talking about what it just said. The Egyptians, daughter of Pharaoh, Moabites, Ammonites.
My question to you is, where did he say you couldn't marry any of those women you just named? Where?
Oh, this guy is just a big liar. He just got through saying it, bro. Verse 2 just got through saying it.
Because that isn't Torah.
He said, where is that in Torah? See, he keep thinking Torah is just the first 5 books. No, it is not, bro. Anybody that study your Bible know that Torah is not just the first 5 books, because you can find instructions in Joshua, you find instructions in Samuel, you find instructions in Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, you name it. You can find instructions in Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, all the minor prophets. Those that have to be Torah as well. It ain't just the first 5 books.
That's what I'm trying to do with you. Listen to what I'm trying to discuss with you concerning verse
you got
Kings 11.
Torah. I went to Torah and showed there's a group.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on par with you. I'm trying to get on par with you. So no, what I'm saying is this right here in chapter 11 of First Kings, the second verse, it said the Lord said it. So my question is, where did he say it?
Well, he said that about the Canaanites. He didn't say that about.
No, not the Canaanites. We're talking about Moabites, Edomites, and Egyptians. Where did he say that? Like you just made that point.
Hold on. He didn't say nothing about them. What are you talking about? See, like for
Right here.
get the judges real quick.
No, hold on. Don't go nowhere else. Right here in verse 2, before you go somewhere else, it says, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, and they shall not come in unto you. So where did he say that?
Listen, brother, this is reading this fundamental, right? So go to verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, right? The Hittites were covered in that 7. Then notice after it says Hittites, then it goes of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them. Who did he say not to go in unto? The Hittites. That's why it elaborates on those nations which were forbidden right after it says Hittites for that very purpose. Now,
I'll give you that.
This guy's a liar, man. Oh man, wow. You know, you heard it for yourself. Okay, you heard it for yourself. This guy's just a liar. I don't prove them wrong. I don't prove them wrong already. Let me stop this video right here. Let me minimize this right here. You come back up where I was. You come back on. Ahlazar just a liar. You know what I'm saying? He just love to lie. All the stuff he's saying don't make any sense at all whatsoever. I'm gonna make this a short thing. I'm trying to let me put the link in the chat. If anybody want to come on and speak a piece on it, while I pull up this this thing on Judges chapter 18 verse 30 about that being Moses' children that was preached to the tribe of Dan until the captivity of the land. So give me 1 second, let me put the link in the chat before I grab that last piece right there. I already proved them wrong enough already. I'm proved them wrong enough already. So, okay, the link is in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this information right quick. If anybody want to come on, let me know. I thought my co-host was gonna come on, but he couldn't. I guess he couldn't make it. So, I think I've proven Ahlazar to be a liar completely in what he's saying. All right. Let me get one more before I grab this thing. Let me get one more here. Come back to this tab. Let me get one more here in the book of Deuteronomy 23. You're trying to say that he's not a Mamzer, which he is a Mamzer according to the text. The text says he's a Mamzer. And you're trying to lie and say that he's not. Let me quickly share the screen again and show you. This Deuteronomy 23, verse 2. It said, a bastard shall not enter into the congregation of Yahweh, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. We're going to get bastard. It says Mamzer here. I'm going to click on it. It says bastard, child of incest, illegitimate child. Bastard again, mixed population, born of a Jewish father, Israelite father, and a heathen mother, or vice versa. This definition here would fit Ahlazar. He's born, according to him, of a Jewish father, which is unverified. Let me be clear. Ahlazar's father is unverified if he is a so-called black man or if he even is a Haitian. It's unverified. Okay? Now, according to him, his mother is a heathen, so-called white woman. Okay? Or vice versa. He fits this definition here clearly. This is speaking of him. He is a Mamzer according to this definition here. According to 1C, he is a Mamzer. He loves to go to the blue letter Bible, read all these definitions. And know he's seeing this one right here. You can't just speak, you just can't pick one definition, Ahlazar. Or the ones that don't match you when this last one does. Okay? Let me stop sharing. That proves that he is a Mamzer according to that definition. I'm gonna wrap this up because I know the game is coming on. I gotta check out my boys, LeBron, AD, handling business. Again, if anybody want to come on and speak their piece on this Mamzer thing, I'm about to shut it down in a second. Let me grab this last thing here about Judges chapter 18, verse 30. So we can see what it actually says. If I can grab this right quick. 1 second here. So I want to pull all of that up. Philippians, Roman. Where is the old? All right, 1 second here. Let me get to the book of Judges. We're going to, we are 16, 17, 18, 18 verse 30. Where is it? Okay, I got it right here. Let me show it right quick. Here's the proof. Judges chapter 18 verse 30. Let me share my screen and show it. I got it right here. Right? We in Judges chapter 18 verse 30. Here it says right here. And the children of Dan set up the graven image that Jonathan, the son of Gershon, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. This is verse 30. We're going to come into the margin to break this down. We come up right here. See, verse 30 in the red. Set up. On account of this, Dan is not named in Revelation chapter 7, and Ephraim is there merged in Joseph. Manasseh. There it says here. Let me highlight this stuff. Let me see, can I highlight it, make it better, clearer. Okay. Let me highlight the part I'm going to read. Manasseh. This word is one of the 4 that has a suspended letter. Here, the letter nun, noon, or na in Paleo is written partly in the line and partly above the line to show that originally it formed no part of the word. It wasn't no part of the word originally, but was put in to make it spell Manasseh. See, it was put in instead of Moses. See, they've changed it. They messing with the text. Jonathan was the grandson of Moses, his contemporary Phinehas, the grandson of Aaron, being mentioned in the 20th chapter, the 28th verse of Judges. We had a priest already, a high priest. It was Aaron's son, Eleazar. It says this was done for 2 reasons. To spare the honor of Moses. See? To spare the honor of Moses, memory and name. To put the sin upon one who committed so gross a sin. Okay? Then you have some kind of comment here on the Talmud. So I'm not even going to read that part because I don't deal with the Talmud. But the point is saying is that originally Manasseh read Moses. All right? Manasseh read Moses. That's what it actually says. So when you come down here to this verse 30, and the children of Dan set up the graven image that Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, he and his sons, okay, were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. So this is why Moses' son couldn't officiate in the temple, because they were Mamzer, and a Mamzer cannot officiate in the Most High's tabernacle or temple, because that would be considered a blemish. You can have a blemish and officiate in the tabernacle or the temple. Okay? So they were expelled from there. Them being mad, going around calling themselves Levites, they ended up being priests to the tribe of Dan, who was worshiping idols until the captivity of the land. That's why you hear nothing else about Moses' children at all. It's blank on them at all. You keep hearing about Aaron's children, Aaron's descendants, and the priesthood coming all the way down to Zadok, who his children are going to come all the way into the temple in Ezekiel, the 40th chapters, all the way down. Okay, so this proves that this is speaking of Moses' children in verse 30. Okay, just wanted to show that proof. That's why they were put out of the temple. Let me stop sharing again. I think I've clearly disproved Ahlazar, proved he is a Mamzer, show why Moses' children were not considered Israelites, not considered Levites, and that what Ezra and Nehemiah did was the counsel of the Most High. So if that's the counsel of the Most High, then you have to surmise that mixed children are not Israelites, because the Most High sent them away. What Ezra and Nehemiah did was the counsel of God, and if he sent them away, then they couldn't be considered Israelites if God said to send them away to the children also. All right? Again, no one wants to come in. I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes before I shut it down. I want to keep this real brief and simple so Ahlazar can take it and critique it and see can he disprove it. Okay? Give it a couple of minutes. You know the game is about to begin if it's not already on. With the warm-ups and all of that going on. And already proved Ahlazar wrong, and he's deliberately lying. I was gonna play more of the video where he lied about Samson. He said the Most High wanted Samson to marry the Philistine woman. I didn't even want to get into no more. He just it's too much lies. It's just too much lies from this guy. Let's deal with this Mamzer thing. So I corrected his lies on the Mamzer, the lies of Ahlazar, Bond, Unverified, because no one knows truly who his father is. Everybody down here is not Haitian. Just because you're black doesn't mean that you're Haitian. And there's information out there that's saying that there's white people out there, there's white people down there that was not expelled by the Haitians. They expelled I think they expelled the French, but there was some other white people down there that didn't expel, and that's where Ahlazar actually comes from. These white people are calling themselves Haitian down there in that land. I was going to grab that information, but it was from another brother video, and I needed his permission. And I couldn't reach to him in time, but it's on YouTube where he breaks this down that Ahlazar's father could have come from these so-called white people down there in Haiti, and not a particular Haitian, so-called a black man. And his skin tone and his stringy hair is just giving him away. Nobody's coming on. Okay, I want to give a shout out to Shao Showtime. Shao, you got to come on YouTube, bro. You got to come off that blog talk. It's just not working, bro. Come on YouTube, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my co-host, Gabar. I want to thank everybody who came in, who's listening. Want to thank the Most High for his knowledge, wisdom, understanding. As usual, his patience with the entire nation of Israel, sending his son, dying for us, giving us a second chance. Want to give a shout out to my brothers in the New Testament for their writings, giving us understanding of the Old Testament that we didn't have, that they given us through the Spirit from the Most High. And with that, I want to say peace to the nation of Israel. Shalom to my people. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Continue to love your neighbor as yourself. Love your brother, love your sister in humility. Until the Most High sends the Messiah to come redeem us. Until then, let's continue on that course. Love each other. With that, shalom.